Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of TK Series 01 Kamen Rider Drive from Kamen Rider Drive. You thought I was probably going to say from Parks and Recreation, but you're wrong. So, this is the continuation of the gimmick figure line, which essentially started primarily from Decade. From Decade on, we've gotten different ones every year. So yeah, this one's gimmick revolves around the tire change gimmick of Drive, so you can switch out the different tire sashes on him to grant him different powers. That doesn't actually get different powers, just a different look. This is like that commercial where it says, like, not a flying toy, like in Toy Story. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Anyway, my only Drive review so far that I've taken a look at the box, just because it's a new figure line. But pretty par for the course stuff. It's got a different flare on it for Drive. Get it? Flare, because of Max Flare. But yeah, it comes with Max Flare, which is right here. Great segue. And then, you know, picture of Drive here. Here's where the figure was. On the top, it shows you how the figure works. And then you got a little picture of Drive up here. Of, what's that guy's name? Is it Tim? And then on the back, you know, it just shows poses and that it can change with the other sets that will be coming out and stuff like that. And the car that comes with one. And you can put tires on it. You can put tires on the car. It's like, what? Alright, so first let's just take a look at the other tire. So he comes with the speed type one, obviously, but then you also get Max Flare, so you can actually do some switch out fun. I have it all closed up right now, so it just kind of looks like an orange slice. But there's little pieces here, you pop them up to activate the little flame spikes. It's really neat that, you know, this actually came with another one to change with. Because with stuff like, mainly actually with a lot of the first figures, like Wizard, I guess, didn't do much, so, but Gaim, you know, with the first, if you just got Gaim, man, this one is giving me trouble. Good thing I have a monologue. With Gaim, you know, you just got orange arms, so if you just got Gaim, you're like, oh man, I can do orange arms, and then orange arms again? And I don't really know how they would have structured it if it came with another one. But still, my point is it's nice to actually come with a different variation than the main one you have to give you a little bit more fun right out of the box without having to immediately buy another figure or set. So there we got that. Now it's a very violent orange slice. But yeah, there's that. We will need him in a little bit. So now taking a look at the figure, the first thing I'll do is articulation, because I said so. Pretty much standard stuff. I always like to say that these are between a Figure Arts and a Power Rangers 5-inch figure in terms of articulation. But it's pretty solid. You have a nice little ball joint here, a hinge that can swivel around. You get a pretty decent range of motion. It's hindered a little bit by these two pieces clashing. You got a single elbow joint swiveling at the arm here. You got swiveling at the elbow. You have those little fun, like, finger joints that separate into two different finger levels. You can swivel at the waist here. His head's on a pretty nice little ball joint, so you can get some 360 movement if you can awkwardly move around the tire. Move his head up and down and all that good stuff. 360 joint here, swiveling, single knee joint here. Swiveling on the foot, you're on a nice little ball joint there. So yeah, it's pretty well articulated. You can get some pretty solid poses out of this guy, but not quite the level of Figure Arts. So obviously the main gimmick comes from the tire switch. Look, it can spin. So you take this guy apart, and this is like Dimension Cab. I want to know, like, I want to be in the writer's room when they're like, what kind of powers would a cab have? Oh yeah, dimension hopping. I don't even know why that's a question. So then just put the other tire on, and then you switch him out, and now you have Max Flare. So it's pretty cool. They have a pretty good setup here in terms of the gimmick for fun. They have a pretty good setup for fun. And I think this can be pretty fun. Now I'm putting him away. Maybe I should put it the other way. But regardless, I think it's a fun gimmick. I don't think it'll be quite as fun as Arms Change, but still, it's pretty fun, and if we get a lot of tires, I can see this being a pretty fun gimmick. And then you can also put my favorite tire on, which is the Invisitire, which is really cool and kind of creepily disturbing. But yeah, it's pretty fun. This is another review where, like, the word of the review is fun. I really like it. I think it'll be cool to be able to switch out cars, because I'm not sure how they would be able to achieve that in Figure Arts, although they might be able to. Now I'm going to get him in a sort of, hey, let's do a spin on the turntable pose. Before I do that, just because it's the best way to do this, I just want to appreciate how well done they got the visor eyes on here. It looks really cool. I think they really, like, sort of perfected the way his eyes look, which is one of the main things I really like about Drive. Is I love the hell out of his helmet and how it sort of lights up and all that fun stuff. So here we go. Drive's going. He's type speed. Look at him go. But yeah, this figure overall looks pretty good. These last few years, these figures have looked pretty damn good for, you know, being these sort of gimmicky, sort of slightly cheaper figures. And like I showed you, the helmet looks really cool, and for the most part, he makes a pretty solid representation. Now, last year, I was in a pretty weird place with these because the figure arts for the current running series were kind of awful. Or not awful, but not that good. So I was like, I might as well get these gimmick figures, which look pretty decent and are fun. But then Gaim figure arts happened, and they were pretty damn amazing. So right now, I have pretty high hopes for the Drive figure art. So I think the Drive figure art might actually end up looking pretty cool if they keep the same quality as Gaim. But I can still recommend this figure. If you just want to save money, these are still a bit cheaper than figure arts, and you get a bit more of a fun figure with the gimmick change. And honestly, with the exception of the paint details in a few places like the belt and whatnot, you know, see here it's all grayish, it's not that bad of a substitute, honestly. They've really improved these steadily since they started with Decade, which are a little bit smaller, and then WFCs and OCCs and Forze, and then Wizard. They really have stepped these up to be pretty solid figures. Just to do a quick comparison, unfortunately, I don't have Gaim. I mean, I do, but the easiest one to grab was this Zangetsu, who was like totally unprepared for this review. He didn't even bring any accessories. But here he is next to an arm change figure, which is obviously Zangetsu, since I just said it. But yeah, overall, I really do dig this figure. I think it's a good representation of Drive. The gimmick is pretty fun. So yeah, if you're looking to save money or you just want a figure now, it's a good figure, and I dig it a lot. But I really am curious to see how the Drive figure arts are going to turn out, because the Gaim ones were so excellent, and I'd love to see a really well done Drive figure art. But anyway, that is about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrandomsrambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Dawson Ryder, signing out.